This episode of Super Pulp Science is brought to you by The Automatic Age, a story of a father and son navigating an automated apocalypse. You can get your copy at greatplains.mb.ca.
Attention, citizens! It's time for Super Pulp Science.
This is Super Pulp Science, where we talk about how genre gets made. Unfortunately, this week we were not able to record a full discussion style episode as we usually do. We will return to our regularly scheduled programming next week, but we do have a little bit of content for you this week. Please enjoy this reading of The Automatic Age by GMB Chomichuk, by Gregory. This will give you a taste of the novel. It's a great novel set in this apocalyptic world where killer robots are going around and a father and son have to figure out their way through this post-apocalyptic world. You can find your copy at greatplains.mb.ca. Without further ado, on with the reading.
The Automatic Age by GMB Chomichuk. Chapter 1. Daydreamer. Kirian had taken the marker tablet 3 minutes ago, as prescribed. He thumbed the Daydreamer control. He was careful not to dislodge the diode from his forehead. The switch snapped over, and then he was sitting with his brother, in the warm glow of the past. The marker was off again. Not quite in the right place. The memory was sooner than it should have been. The machine had not lived up to its advertised promise of reliving the memory that he'd marked. It was close, and the memory at full magnified recall was intense, even in its banality. Do you think 30 years ago people took it for granted as much as they do now? Kirian said, just as he had. What? Mark was asking, just as he had. Do you think people looked at our present, their future, and thought, there, right there and then, it will be better? That's what they do now. That's what I'm saying. Aren't you listening? I'm just looking at this. Have you seen this? Remember when robots were toys? They're making robots that fight like men, like people. They even sort of look like people. I'm saying that we are future obsessed. No one ever looks around and says, the present, just as I hoped it would be, you know? Why make them like us, like people? You can make them like anything. Give them treads and a dozen arms. I expect those makers to use their imaginations. What? Now you're not listening. The robots in the war. They make them like people, arms, legs, heads, torso. But why? Why make them like that? Why not make them more elaborate? Improve on the human soldier. Oh, shoot, man. I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean... It's fine. You forgot. That's a good thing. But it's obvious why they don't make them like us. Okay, why? Because to win the war in a way worth winning, you need to get rid of the people, but not the structures. The most efficient shape for door-to-door fighting is human. It's a human world. Doorknobs, ladders, stairs, buttons, keyboards, cars. To get everyone without damage to the structures, you need to navigate that same environment in the same way. Heck, I bet they're even making them think like us. You mean obsessed with the future? You were listening. Of course. Now come on. We're late. Chapter 2. Worth the watts. What are you doing, Dad? Barry said. What? Oh, sorry. I was just... Oh, you were using it again. I couldn't tell with the lights off. I was. You told me the Daydreamer wasn't worth the watts. Did I say that? Why can't I try it? The damn thing can only show you the past, Kirian said. then held up the manual and squinted through the dim light. It says it reads the pleasant topics on our minds and goes back to the past moments with the help of the patented pleasant pill. You take the pill and remember, then you take the pill again and connect to the daydreamer. It does the remembering for you. But if you can remember already, why do you need it? Well, it's supposed to give you all the details that you can't remember normally. Barry was quiet. I guess the assumption was that nostalgia would make you feel better. What's nostalgia? A drug, Kieran said dully. A drug? No, not really. Nostalgia is the way to remember things and be happy. But sometimes all those happy memories, they make you sad. That's because you're an adult. What? Adults have lots of junk in there. Don't you remember? You said that to Mom when she got it. Oh, yeah. I remember. Well, I'm a kid. Up until last Christmas, I played and went to school and had vid time. If I use it, I bet I'll like it. I bet you would. All right. Really? Sure. What was your daydream? It was about Uncle Mark. A conversation we had before last Christmas. Right. I hope I can daydream Uncle Mark. I miss him. Then I hope you do too. Chapter 3. Jogger. The highway racks hummed at night. The grooves set into the slipcrete blinked on as they always did after sunset. The car pods shot past at speed in the 36 lanes that marked the edge of their forage territory. Carrion wondered about the drivers, locked inside on their endless circuit, unable to sabotage their perfectly safe carriages, unable to open them at speed. Some had starved, he thought. Some must have found a way. Asphyxiation with a seatbelt, maybe something sharp in a purse, a pocket knife, maybe. The freeway lifted in a dozen directions in the center lanes near Brixton, where they left its well-lit curbs and made their way into the automat districts. They had brought coins aplenty. At first, they had brought the food home, all they could carry, but it spoiled too soon. They had to keep the power low or the autovolts would come, and that meant no refrigeration. But the automats had kept up their production, and the things there were still fresh. He wondered at that, but he guessed even now that things had to do what they did, at least until the autovolts remade them into their own kind of automats. These machines would keep doing what they'd been made to do. It was a perfect world, but no one was left to live in it. They stocked up on sandwiches and bread and milk. They got fresh apples from the machine and, for a treat, 2 cold sodas that they drank right there in the muggy summer heat. He knew they'd see one soon, and they did. The Autovolt came down the avenue at a jog, the rubber soles of its treads making the approach almost silent. The whine of the servos in its joints gave some advanced warning. Jogger had seen a good amount of combat. Its gun was empty and retracted, the knife hand instead at the ready. The smooth plastic of its outer shell was scuffed and marred in places where bullets had struck or desperation had given way to hand-to-hand fighting. Through the transparent plastic and rubberized shell, Kieran could see the perfect inner mechanisms clicking, like a timepiece. His father had had a transparent watch. It seemed just the same, its pieces carefully selected, its workings no less miraculous for it. Barry gripped his arm and pressed in behind him. Dad? Just like before, just like every time. Don't worry, Barry. Jogger came up and politely identified itself. I am Unit 983 8302. Identify yourself. I am Unit 8347. Incorrect. You are a human occupant. Carrion looked at the knife hand. There was a nick in the blade. Exchange to verify, Carrion said. Exchange to verify, Unit 98302 said. Carrion lifted his shirt, exposing the machine pistol tucked into his belt. He took the retracted power cable by its grip, extending it towards the autovolt. The autovolt took it and inserted it into its own port, then extended its own cable to Carrion, who took that cable and plugged it into place. His hands were sweating. Ident verified. 8347. Disconnect. No, Carrion said. He adjusted a knob on his abdomen under his shirt. Sparks flew inside the autovolt, and the humanoid figure shuddered for a moment, then slowly tilted forward. Carrion caught the heavy body and braced against it. Overload, 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 Unit 98302 said. Die, Carrion whispered to its smooth plastic face, then disconnected the cables, first the autovolt's, then his. Does it hurt them, Dad? Barry asked. I hope so. You tell me not to be cruel. I do. I'm sorry. It doesn't hurt them because they aren't alive. Finish your soda, then help me turn it over. I want to get its radio. Then we need to go back. My battery is low.